How's everybody doing today? It is the Chase Carter Concept Podcast. It is Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday, sorry. September 29th. And I got a few things I want to talk about. First part of the podcast, as a, I don't know what the right word would be, but the first part of the podcast will be kind of personal stories, stuff that's going on in my life, trying to keep it short, video games I'm playing, sporting events that I saw, watched, all that good stuff. And then later I'm going to read some just random news stories I found that were interesting. So hope you guys enjoy it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, good news, at least good news for me. There was an issue. I was trying to help my dad move. I went down there, helped him move. Moved a lot of stuff. Got a lot of stuff done. And then now I guess the buyers are having a hard time coming up with the loan. Now, it is good that we got it all cleaned up, all organized, all sorted. But we may have done that for absolutely no reason. And I'm kind of happy that he's not selling right now, but he's in the mindset of selling it, so he's going to sell it eventually anyway. So that's not a permanent good news story, but a overall good news. When I heard it, it made my day. It made my week, actually. I was like, oh, good. He can't sell it yet. Selfishly, I'm like, keep the house, but he can obviously do whatever he wants with it. But good news from there. And then I have a confession to make, and I'm very disappointed in myself. Highly, highly disappointed. Oh my God, what did he do? I video game yelled at my girlfriend again. I know I'm an asshole. We've never gotten into an actual argument. We've gotten into disagreements about things. Political leanings and what have you. But I just need to not... And I wasn't yelling at her. I was yelling... What I was doing... Okay, let me explain. Let me dig this hole a little deeper. We're playing Sea of Thieves, as we always do, because that's her favorite. I swear to God, this girl, she comes home every day. It's Sea of Thieves, Sea of Thieves, Sea of Thieves. So we're playing. We're at an island. We have missions to kill these skeleton captains. So we sail to an island. We get there, and there's other ships around the game. There's other actual real people sailing around doing their own missions, and they can choose to attack us or help us, whatever. They usually attack. So we're sailing around, and then I hear me and Corey is off in the distance, and I hear someone swimming up to my boat, and it's like, whoosh, 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 whoosh. And I'm like, Corey shouldn't be right by the boat. Oh, crap. Another pirate's trying to board us. So I drop the sail. We get some speed going, and then I look behind us, and yet, lo and behold, there's a guy there. Okay, and there's ships kind of around us, but they're in the distance. They're kind of far away. So this guy swam for a long time to try to get us. So I'm like, haha, we got away. I'm thinking, right? I don't take the threat too seriously. Okay, which is my fault. Reminiscing, looking back on it, reviewing the situation, I realized it is my error that would happen. But she also contributed to the failure of this. Now, granted, I'm not very good. She's really not good at the game. Fighting, anyway. Other people. And so we go off to another island that's a few, probably a minute or two away from where we were. We stop on an island. She gets off on the island to try to kill the skeletons. I'm sitting there on the boat, and I'm seeing a ship, a bigger ship. It's called a brigantine. It's a 3-player ship, and we're on a sloop, which is a 2-player ship. It's smaller, less cannons, obviously less people, so we're in more danger. And I see it kind of coming. It's its starboard, its right side was facing us. So I'm thinking, so I'm like, okay, it's gonna head off into a different direction, so I look back at Corey, make sure she's okay, and I turn and look, and it's headed directly towards us, and quick with the wind. So I'm like, oh shit. So I drop sail and say, Corey, they're coming after us. The brigantine is coming after us. I'm out of here, and I leave her back on the island. And she can catch. In the game, you can catch a mermaid. If your ship gets too far away from you, a mermaid pops up, and then you go to the mermaid, and then it basically teleports you back to your ship. The mermaids help you get back to your ship. So I say, Corey, I'm out of here. Catch a mermaid. Come back. Get back on board. Or what did I say exactly? Because we had a discussion about what I said. I said, Corey, I'm out of here. Get the mermaid. Get the mermaid or catch a mermaid. But there was also a mermaid statue on the island. And she thought I meant go kill the mermaid statue. Which I don't know why I would say that when we're being threatened. And we have lots of treasure on board. We were playing for about an hour and a half. We accumulated a lot of valuable things. Nothing crazy valuable. Nothing we couldn't live without. But I didn't want to die instantly and give those people all of our things. So I'm like, get the mermaid or catch a mermaid. I think I said, I don't know. Can't remember. Granted, it's streamed. It's streaming. I don't want to go back and look at it because I'm embarrassed. I didn't yell, but I raised. I'm like, what are you doing? And then, so I'm sailing away. I'm being attacked, right? Cannons are being shot at me. They board me. I make the mistake because you have to head into the wind because the bigger ship, that ship is quicker than my ship. It has more sails. I have a smaller sail. They have bigger sails and they have multiple sails. So they can catch up. If I'm going with the wind, they can catch up. But if I'm going against the wind, in the game, it's faster. It's a way for smaller ships to outrun bigger ships. It's like a little strategy thing. So at first I'm going with the wind, and I turn. And this was my error. I turned too far. I didn't make a wide enough turn, and this is getting really nerdy. But my turn radius was too sharp or acute, and that gave them time to launch somebody from their ship in front of my ship, and then they grabbed the ladder on our ship. They got on board. Him and I were fighting. He dropped our anchor, and then eventually killed me. And by that time, the ship caught up with us because I'm just sitting dead in the water. The ship caught up with us, and then I'm being shot at. And this has happened over the course of a few minutes. I'm getting shot at, cannonballs, blah, 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 blah. And then Corey says, oh man, these skeletons are really killing me. She's still on the island, killing the computer skeletons that don't matter. So this whole time, and I'm like, Corey, you're still killing, and that's when I kind of video game lost it. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you still there? There is no reason for you to be on that island. I need your help. Granted, she probably couldn't have helped. We both suck. But that's not the point. We go down together. We go down with the ship. She's on the island, and then she said, well, I thought I would distract them. I threw a few grenades on their ship. And I'm like, Corey, those grenades are for distraction purposes. They're not gonna matter. They're just gonna light the ship on fire a little bit. There's a crew of 3 people. One of them can easily take care of that. And then they're back to killing me by myself on the ship. Our ship. Remember all the loot that we got? Well, it's gone now. And we're dead. And then so we had a funny sit-down talk about what is the right strategy, what's the right moves. She was kind of disappointed and sad. I turned the game off. I was like, I need a break. I need a good 20-minute break right now. 25-minute break. And so But that kind of got us in, because we've been playing just Sea of Thieves, and I'm thinking that playing different games will help. I'm thinking if she plays a plethora, at least a few different games, I'm thinking that will help her in Sea of Thieves. Because she'll get the feel of just video games in general. She'll maybe get some, I don't know, skills or some different views about how to play different games and then apply that to Sea of Thieves. And so we go over different games we should play. She wants to play FIFA because she's soccer. She's selfish. She only wants to play the games that she likes. Selfish. So we just go over in Xbox Games Pass what games we could play together. And she picks out every game that has a girl on the cover. Sexist. I know. That's what I was thinking. She picked Recore. She's like, ooh, what's Recore? And then there's this weird Japanese vampire game with this chick on the cover with purple hair. She's like, what's Valacuranico Vampire? I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't want to know what that is. I'm not going to. It's like, this is stuff that you can look at by yourself. But I'm trying to find a co-op game that we can play together. And she always picked single-player games where the main character is a girl. I was like, oh, that guy. Okay. It's interesting to see what draws her eye or what draws her attention as someone who didn't grow up playing video games just in general or as many video games. And that's one of the reasons I like playing with her. When I saw her like playing with her, that's why I like playing video games with her, is because she doesn't look at video games the same way as I do. She sees. We played State of Decay, and what State of Decay is a third person. And if you don't know what third person is, she didn't know what third person is. And that means when you see your character, like the whole body, you control the camera behind your character. And so she played State of Decay by herself, and she really liked that game. Because it's a zombie game, it's scary, you're by yourself, whatever. And then we played State of Decay 2, and that's a co-op game. And when we played it together, we only played it for about an hour. She said she didn't really like it. She didn't enjoy it. And so I'm thinking, and it's basically the same exact game, just better. State of Decay 2. And the only difference is me. So she didn't like playing with me. And then she said, no. I was like, yes, the common denominator is me. You liked the first one, didn't like the second one. You played the first one by yourself. You played the second one with me. I'm the reason you don't like it. But maybe I'm thinking she feels it's like you're alone with zombies and it's more scary when you're alone and she has to do all the work. And when she's with me, I help her out and that way it's easier. So maybe the game doesn't have all the tension. So we played that. Just for an hour. It took a little while to download for her. And then, of course, the landscaper guy comes right now. No, normally he comes at 1. Today's an hour early. Good for him. I'll try to edit it out, but if it doesn't, I apologize to the 5 people that listen. So, yeah. So it's been a fun. I'm going to pause and close the window. All right, I am back. Granted, it was a few seconds for you, or a second. For me, it was a good long while. Now, I was talking about her not liking State of Decay. I want to hop into... she told me before that she wanted to play Halo. And I've already played all the Halo games. So selfishly, I didn't want to play those again. Because those are hours and hours and hours and hours of games that I don't want to play anymore. Now, maybe before Halo Infinite comes out, we'll run through them. And then we can play Infinite together when that comes out. That'll be a nice little boyfriend-girlfriend activity to do. And I'm lucky. I know. I am. I'm very blessed. I'm #blessed. I mean, I'm a white male in America, and I have a good girlfriend who plays video games with me. I think I got it made. If I die tomorrow, I'm good. So she wanted to play Halo, and I told her, well, Bungie, I got really nerdy. I told her this company named Bungie made Halo. after a while, they stopped making Halo, and then they made this game called Destiny. So this is going to feel kind of like Halo. If you like the shooting aspects of Halo and how good that felt, you're going to enjoy Destiny. And she's like, oh, okay, so we'll try that out. So she tries it out. She likes it. She is actually really good at shooting, a lot better than I thought she'd be. Sea of Thieves, she can't hit anything. Granted, Sea of Thieves doesn't have crosshairs, and all pretty much other shooters do. So she isn't very good at that, but she's very good at Destiny, shooting the computer characters pretty well. She can anticipate their movement a lot better, which is an interesting. I think I'm saying the word interesting way too much, but is a something I found. I don't know what would be another word for interesting. I don't know. Can't think of one. Is that interesting? Is it really? So she played Destiny, enjoyed it. Now, and then the next day, I told her, say, we should play Destiny again. And I'd never played Destiny 2. I played Destiny, the first one. Never played 2 because they changed so much of it. But then I'm like, this is a good... It's free, but it's the game is over 100 gigabytes inside, so we have to download it, which takes a long time. Plus, we have a data cap on our internet, and we have to download it twice, one for her Xbox, one for my Xbox. These are first world problems, but this is a problem. So she played it for an hour, and then said, okay, let's play Halo now. And I'm like, whoa, lady. We already committed over 200 gigabytes. We have to see this through. We have to play it more than one day. If you didn't like it, that's a completely different issue. If you think it's too hectic, too many things going on, we can find ways to make it kind of interesting for you. The storyline, blah, blah, blah. All of those things. So I'm trying to get her to play this thing. And then so we've been also playing, obviously, Sea of Thieves, and we've been playing Ancient Vaults. There's what I like about Sea of Thieves is this ever-growing community, ever-growing game that seems like it's going to be supported for a long, long time. And they just released Ancient Vaults. So there is a faction in the game. Her and I like this one mission. She loves this mission. It's a part of the Gold Hoarders alliance. So there's multiple alliances in the game. Groups factions that you could get missions from, or quests. And different quests obviously do different things. Well, this one is the Gold Hoarders. They're people who obviously like gold. And they like it so much that in this mythic world, they turn partially gold. Like they get gold, like arms and just a whole bunch of, like, they basically are becoming human pieces of gold. They're being cursed by their love of gold. So they give you maps with X's on them. They got them from other pirates. And the lawnmower guy's back. I will explain this shortly in a moment. All right, we are back. Ancient Vaults. Okay, so the Gold Hoarders. They want to find a key to a treasure vault. And to find the key, you need a map. But the map has been torn up into little bitty pieces. To find the pieces, they have a magical compass. This cat is about to meow at me. Oh, wait! So, you get the compass. The compass points you to the pieces of the map. You travel to an island. You dig up the pieces of the map. There's like 4 or 5 pieces. And then it's a X marks the spot map, and then you have to find out what that island is. You have to go to it, dig up the key. Now, you have a choice. You can turn the key back in, because that's what the Gold Hoarders want, is the key, because then they'll search the vault and get all the treasure later. Or you can take the key to the vault yourself and risk losing all the treasure, or getting all the treasure. So, obviously, you're going to go to the vault yourself and try to steal the treasure from, but then you sell it back to the Gold Hoarders anyway, so that part really doesn't make any sense. However, so you go to the island with the treasure vault, you put the key on the little placement, or the little platform. Put the key on the little platform, it opens up a treasure vault. Now the treasure vault door stays open for 3 minutes, and there's all this gold and loot inside. and there's high valuable loot, medium valuable loot, and low valuable loot. So you have to sift through all this stuff. But there's also a riddle, kind of, or a puzzle in the room. In the room there is a table, and in the table there. And then how would I describe this? No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You want to go outside? 1 second. All right. So there's a table there, big old table, and then there are 3 medallion pieces hidden in the room. You have to find the medallion pieces, put them in the table, and then each medallion piece reveals a picture. And then according to those pictures that are revealed, you have to put them in order. So say if there's a picture of a lock, you have to put a lock there. And then if there's a picture of a chain, a links of chain, you have to put that up on the wall. There's how do I explain this? There's columns. There's 4 columns, and you can turn them. And they all have 4 sides each, and on each 4 sides there's a picture, and you have to match the picture on the columns to the picture on the table. And they're randomly generated. So then on the 4th one, it's all of them combined. You press a button, and then the vault door opens up, and then you get a super valuable chest, the chest of ancients. So you have to do all of that while the door is closing behind you. And then you also have to get the random loot that's in the room, and you have to jump on ladders, jump on platforms, like tightrope, walk across these little ledges to get more valuable treasure all in this little vault room, and then get it out of the door. And then the door closes at 3 minutes. And then you have to get the vault. You have to obviously put the treasure back on your ship, sail it away. And that's a cool aspect of it too, because if somebody sees you headed towards that island, everybody knows there's like 3 or 4 islands that these vaults are on. So they can kind of lay in wait. They know it takes you 3 to 4 minutes. They know your crew is going to be busy. They could sit off the island, wait for you to get all that treasure out, and then steal it. So there's all these different little games you can play within the mission. And it's pretty cool. I got to admit, it's pretty cool. I got to admit. I'm liking it. She's liking it. Yeah, so I mean the game is good. The game's awesome. That's the new little mission we've been doing. Order of Souls missions where we go around and kill skeleton captains and then fight ghost ships, because she's not very good at manning the. I wouldn't say manning. She's not good at the helm, I would say. She's not good at sailing the ship around. So we're trying to do more missions that relate into ship battles to get her acclimated to that. That's what she wanted to work on. I gotta say, I'm very lucky to have a girlfriend who says, you know what I want to work on today? I want to work on my ship driving skills. That was fun. I've been playing now selfishly, I'm going to talk about a solo video game that I've been playing, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The game's over a year old, and I don't care if this game is old. If you haven't played it, I recommend playing it. It takes you back to like Rome and Sparta and all of like that era type of stuff. The story so far is pretty cool. It's a lot better than Assassin's Creed Origins. Maybe I don't know. Assassin's Creed Origins I did not like at all. For some reason, they took out a lot of things I liked about Assassin's Creed. And this game doesn't have any of that either. But for some reason, the combat feels a little bit better. You can parry stuff. And then before, I think you blocked. I can't remember. I've actually blocked out Assassin's Creed Origins from my head. I didn't enjoy it. The leveling system, I like how in this one, it doesn't tell you. I don't, it's just me. But when you get a mission and then you're in a city with no like say you're back in ancient Greece, and somebody wants you to go somewhere and do so. It's such a small aspect of the game. But say they want you to go do something on a side of an island. It's north of the Fetchy Farms. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then your character who's never been there before knows exactly where it is. Exactly. And there's a pinpoint. There's all these different markers, pinpoints. And in this one, there's an exploration mode. They had it in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, where it just gives you north of this place. Like they give you like 2 or 3 descriptions about where it is. And based off of those descriptions, you can look at your map that you have and kind of get the general area, and you go there and explore it, and then you find it. So just that simple touch in the game to where it's not, okay, go to this waypoint, now go back to this waypoint, okay, and then the screen fills up with all this garbage, and you're not seeing the actual game. The game looks beautiful. It's gorgeous. I want to see that. I don't want to see the heads-up display, all the little tack markers, all those little things. So I made all of that pretty much go away, and then I turned on exploration mode. I think I only have like a compass on, and then my life meter, and that's pretty much it. I don't need anything else. I can navigate, and it just feels, you pay more attention to your surroundings other than the life bar. Like, even when you're fighting an enemy and they have a life bar above their head, you're not looking at the enemy, you're looking at the life bar, and that's annoying. It's the same thing in NBA 2K games. When your jump shot meter is on, you're not looking at your jump shot or your character. You're looking at the meter. So why you're playing a basketball game, yet you're looking at the meter? Now, maybe like after the shot, you have the slightly early, slightly late feedback. That's cool. But I don't think there should be a shot meter on it. Like when... I don't know. It's just a weird concept. I'm going to make this beautiful game that looks amazing, and I'm going to fill it with all these gauges and meters, and that way it takes you out. What's the opposite of immersion? It just takes you out of the game experience, so you don't feel like you're in the game, so to speak. You're making a difference type of deal. There was one funny, what I like to do in these open world games is I like to walk around the world and not do the missions, but just see, because if you're sprinting through a city, you just catch glimpses of the random people, the NPCs day, and all of those people are programmed to do different things and to live out their own day. They have a job, supposedly. So when you go to like a farmer who's picking grapes for wine, they have a big old basket full of grapes, and they're picking these grapes, but they don't move along the vines. They're just in the same spot picking. So that part kind of like breaks the reality. But if you stop and look, then you kind of see the magic, like how the magic, like not the magic, but the how the spaghetti's made. You start to see like the flaws, because if they were to do it too realistically, then the game wouldn't. The game only has so much memory has so much memory. So like when you, I don't know, how would you say this? When you program a whole bunch of people to do a whole bunch of random things, it takes up memory and it takes up game space. So that way they have a budget, I guess you can say. I don't know how you would say it. I'm not smart enough to say it, but there was this funny time. What I'm trying to get at, there's this funny time. This guy's picking grapes, and I bump into him, and then the basket he has disappears. It doesn't fall on the ground or anything. He just doesn't have a basket anymore. He questions what I'm doing, if I'm high or whatever. And then I don't do it. I step away from him, and he goes back to picking the grapes. Well, he pulls out this huge basket out of his pocket full of grapes, and then the basket is back magically. And I'm like, oh, okay. So there's cool little, and those are the kind of things I'm watching for. There was an instance where these people were working at a stable, and they were baling hay. There was a pile of hay, and then in this little trough, they put the hay in, and they were picking up the hay and putting it in the trough. Now, none of the levels of hay were getting smaller or bigger, but there was hay coming off of the fork, the little pitchfork he was using. So that was a cool little... But they wouldn't... and then they would stop, and one of them was a male and one of them was a female, and then I saw them. They both rested. They both stopped for a second. They wiped their brow. They breathed heavy. They were kind of leaning on the pick, and I'm like, oh, these cool little details in the game. But if you, as I said, if you're running by, it seems like a bustling, I don't know if that's the right term, living city. But when you stop and look, you start to see the errors, the issues that they couldn't do. But maybe on the next gen, maybe on the Xbox Series X, they're able to have this whole world kind of simulated. And so where some people would leave their house, the farmers would leave their houses or their huts, go work the lands, and not work the lands as in stand in one spot and pick grapes. They'll actually walk down their section of the grapes, of the row of grapes, the vine or whatever. They'll do that until, sundown, and then they'll, or if their basket gets full, they'll put their basket down. They'll go get some more, and then you're going to have some people go pick up the baskets and teleport them, transport them back to, wherever the hell they make the grape, That's what I want. I'm wondering if we'll ever get to a point in video games, I'm sure we will, where you're going to have a world like Assassin's Creed, where the game has nothing to do with wine, has nothing to do with farming, but you get to the farm and you see the production, like you see them pick the grapes, you see them put the baskets down, and you have a bunch of baskets sitting there, and then somebody else's job to pick up the baskets, put them in a wagon, transport them to where they make the wine. They make the wine, and then they bottle the wine, or they barrel the wine, whatever, in vats, and however you make wine, you see that whole process, and then you see them take the wine to, say, a bar or dinners, and they distribute it like that. You see the flow of, you can see them do like transactions with money, like buying all of that stuff. You see that transaction, and you see that person take that to a bank and have that. So then maybe you can intercept it. You can intercept that transaction before it gets to the bank, and then you're a thief. Or you can wait till all of the transactions happen in the day. They deposit all the money in the bank. Then you can rob the bank and get all of the people's money from all the one. But that's just a side. I wonder if the games are going to get to a point where all of the systems kind of combine and connect. I wonder. I mean, I'm guessing we're going to eventually. But that whole nerdy, I guess, branch of thought, as I was sitting there watching a fake video game character pick fake grapes, I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool if this. But then that's years and years of work just to do that, and that's a side part of a game that I'm thinking of. And I don't make games, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I think we're going to play Destiny 2 a little bit, see how she likes that. More Sea of Thieves, of course, and I'm going to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey for the foreseeable future till the Xbox Series X comes out. And of course 2K, NBA 2K. I don't think I'm going to get 2K21. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to. I'm going to play 2K20 until 2K22 comes out. I just don't think, seeing how they forgot to put some things in the game kind of upset me. They forgot. I don't know if I've talked about this, but they forgot to put floaters in the game. And floater is like a high arcing shot. A little person shoots over a big person. And it wasn't necessarily a shot that was highly used in the game, because the shot, people don't attempt it very much in games. It's usually 3-pointers, layups. That kind of mid-range game went away. There's very few people that shoot floaters consistently. But it was just out of the game. They forgot about it. For some reason, the testing, and then they had to put it back in the game. And I'm wondering, this game costs hundreds of millions of dollars to make, theoretically. And you forget to put that in the game? And then there's ankle breakers, where different characters have different abilities. If you're good with ball handling and you fake somebody out, the defender will fall, and it's called breaking ankles. There's an ability to where that the likelihood of that goes up. if you have this ability equipped. And that's just broken. It's in the game. It doesn't happen. So I'm wondering, like, did you I understand testing a game, but for that to slip through just means you're not testing it properly. And I don't know if it's the whole pandemic, if it's just things are going to get overlooked just in general. I mean, you have tens of thousands of things to worry about, and there's different departments working on different aspects of the game, and it just got overlooked. But I just don't understand how that could happen accidentally, is you take a feature out of a game. Like, nobody noticed, and that just means that nobody shoots floaters. So if nobody shoots floaters and you have a shot in the game nobody's really using, why put it in the game? Why isn't it more effective? It should be more effective. Maybe a little bit, if you can specialize in floaters. So there's that whole thing. So I don't know. I don't know is my point. There's just all these little signs that they're not really. And then the next gen version, is apparently going to be completely different. They haven't released any information. It's going to be out in a month. It's going to be out next month. So what are we waiting for, guys? Can we see what? Maybe there's some embargo deal where they can't show all this stuff. But you want people to spend $70 on a game in a month that you haven't even told us what's going on about it? What's it look like? Can I get some gameplay? The game's going to come out in a month. No? Okay, well then I'm not buying your. You're hiding something. I know you're hiding. Just jokingly, you're hiding something. I know it. I can't prove it, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Now, granted, I will probably buy 2K22. Not gonna lie. Can't pretend. But okay. But let's get into these random news stories and see if I have anything intelligent. Probably not. To say, I was pleasantly surprised. There's a former basketball player named Delonte West. He has fallen on hard times. He was a role player, really pretty good role player. Has made millions of dollars in his career. In fact, I will look up how much money he's made over the course. Delonte West. Basketball contracts. And see how much money he's lost. Delonte West salary. Hoopshype.com. Let's see what he made. I know he played for the Dallas Mavericks. His earnings, oof. So he started playing basketball in 2004, 2005 with the Boston Celtics. He made $900,000 his first year, a little over $1 million his second year, over $1 million his third year, about $2 million his fourth year with the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's when he started playing for the Cavs. He made $3.8 million his fifth year with the Cavs, $4.2 million for his sixth year, and then he went back to Boston for $1 million. So I'm guessing he fell off in that instance. And then he went to the Mavs for the next 2 years at 1.1 and 1.2 for a grand total of. See, why are there two numbers? I don't understand why there's two numbers, salary, and they're always a little bit less. So about $16 million, and the cat is back. The cat just 10 minutes ago was meowing to leave. She left, and now she's back meowing at the door. And I consider myself a heartless human being, and I can't let her stay out there. She could, I don't know. And she's fine. Every time I think she's outside meowing, I'm thinking some predator is trying to get her. She's just being lazy. Where'd you go? They're so sneaky. They'll be right next to you, and then they're gone. I don't understand how that happens. It's because they're small and quiet and silent, which is another reason I don't trust them. So Delonte West, he's made $16 million over the course of his career. There have been pictures of him as a homeless person with a sign begging for food. And he looks terrible. It looks like he's obviously on drugs. And there is an article, multiple articles. This one I'm going to read is by Outkick.com. It says Mark Cuban, and he's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, is helping Delonte West try to turn his life around. Mark Cuban gets a lot of flack on Outkick, particularly over NBA ratings. So it is only a fair point to point out it is genuinely cool and worthy of praise to see him help out Delonte West try to turn his life around. West is known for his time on the Celtics and Cavaliers, but he also spent his last season in the NBA playing for the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban's Dallas Mavericks. West has been seen around the streets of Dallas in recent weeks carrying a sign. TMZ reported on Wednesday that Cuban sought to meet with West and ultimately connected with him and brought him to a hotel while West's family strategized about what to do next. West's family has reportedly been trying to convince him to go into rehab for a couple of years. There's a tweet. It says Mark Cuban reached out to his West's mother. Good for Cuban, and hopefully this is the first step in a turnaround for Delonte West. So it's kind of cool that his former boss. And it's kind of sad that it took an owner to look after I thought players look after players. In my head, it took an owner reaching out. Like nobody cares about this guy. None of his former teammates care about this dude, or maybe they tried and he just fell back into the drug life. What is she meowing about? No, she's just meowing constantly. I don't. Stop it. Go away. Go. Shh. No, you have food. You choose not to eat it. All she wants is her treats. All day she wants her treats. You can't eat treats all day. That's unhealthy. Granted, you're old and you don't have that long. That's that long to live. That's besides the point. Xbox games with gold free games for October 2020 announced. See if there's any good games here. Butcher's Cut, Slay Away Camp, Butcher's Cut, no. Made of Skewered, no. Phoenix and the Cursed Mummy, no. Costume Quest. Doesn't look like much. Nope, okay. Games Pass is better. I'm going to do a hard pass on that one. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is interesting. This is a scientific article. This is CNN. Scientists create super enzyme that eats plastic bottles 6 times faster. 6 times faster than what? Their predecessors? What's going on? Scientists have created a new super enzyme that can break down plastic up to 6 times faster than their previous enzyme. Ooh, enzyme superiority. A team of researchers that previously re-engineered a plastic-eating enzyme named PETESE, P-E-T-E-S-E, have now combined. Of course, the ad pops up. What? Jesus Christ. See, they can't get mad at you if you don't say the ending of the Christ part. Jesus Christ. Have now combined it with a second enzyme to speed up the process, according to a press release from the University of Portsmouth. I can read. I'm real smart. Super enzyme could have major implications for recycling, which is the most common thermoplastic used in single-use drink bottles, carpets. I guess carpet would be plastic. I don't know what carpet's made out of, but it's apparently made out of plastic, and clothing. PET takes hundreds of years to degrade in the environment. PETESE can break it down into its building blocks in a few days. That's interesting. So it takes normal plastic hundreds of years to degrade in the environment naturally, but this enzyme or whatever can break it down in just a few days, huh? The lead co-author and director of the Center of Enzyme, blah, 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 the latest development represents a huge stop towards using enzymes to recycle plastic and reduce plastic pollution. We were actually quite surprised it worked so well. we were surprised it works still, although he underlined that the process is still way too slow to be commercially viable. Ooh, Betsy, you lead with the good news and then you add the bad news later. We told CNN that researchers have received funding to carry out further experiments, and successful developments could mean exiting PET could be recycled instead of using fossil fuels to create new plastic. So there's a new kind of plastic. It's confusing. I'm reading this and I'm confused. We're looking at huge energy savings, said McGeehan. How does it work? The super enzyme combines PETs, I guess, and METs. A mixture of the two breaks down PET twice as fast as PETs. See, this is confusing as shit. On its own, while connecting the two enzymes, all I know is you connect the two enzymes and it eats plastic quicker, but then you're talking about PET as a type of plastic. And you don't explain what that is. While connecting the two enzymes, increase the speed by a further 3 times. Okay, so not only 6 times, but now 3 more after that? But is it 3 times as fast as the original or 3 times as fast as this 6 times? I'm confused. McGeehan used the diamond light source, a device that used X-rays 10 billion times brighter than the sun to be able to see individual atoms to map the molecular structure of METs, which is the new thing, I guess. That's really, really fast eating plastic. Researchers were then able to engineer the new super enzyme by connecting METs and PETs, effectively stitching the enzyme's DNA together to create one long chain. Then it's going to start, if you create this super thing that eats everything, it's going to eat all of us. This is a script to a new movie. We were just trying to get rid of plastic, and then they started eating everything. It's like a super termite that just eats the world. The planet gets smaller and smaller. The technique is commonly used in the biofuels industry, which uses enzymes to break down cellulose? I don't know that word. But McGeehan said this is the first time he was aware of the enzymes being combined to break down plastic. The full story was published Monday in the journal Proceedings. And how else can plastic be broken down, you asked? Well, we got an answer. Plastic pollution is one of the most pressing environmental issues. A recent report from the Pew Charitable Trust, Pew is spelled P-E-W, projected the volume of plastic entering the ocean could nearly triple to 29 million metric tons per year by 2040, the equivalent of 50 kilograms, I don't know what that is, I'm American, for every meter, don't know what that is either, of the planet's coastline. And I don't want to learn, I think a meter is a little bit more than a yard, or less, like 4 feet, 3 something. I should know that. I'm going to look that up actually, right now. Let's see. Good thing. See, this is the thing we don't have because we have Google. We have everything at our fingertips. Meter to feet. 3.3 feet, 3.37 inches. I knew it was around 3 feet, so it's a meter and a yard, kind of equivalent. I'm going to pretend like I knew that 100%. So we'll see now. I got to go back to the article and where I was in the article. Granted, nobody really cared. Come on, Chase. Come on. We don't care about the plastic. But anyways, they made a new plastic. I kind of like stories like that. It's like the human beings have a problem that we created, and then we create a solution for the problem. Now, that solution could also cause other issues. So who knows? This is a fun story. Man finds, this is from the Washington Post, a visitor thought he found a piece of glass at an Arkansas state park. It was a 9-carat diamond. An earlier version of the story incorrectly stated the previous record of the second largest diamond found in the Crater State Park, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Crater of Diamond State Park. See, they just said State Park. They didn't say the park was called the Crater of Diamonds. allows visitors to hand sift 37 acres of plowed earth for the chance to take home a natural diamond, usually around a quarter of a carat and often found daily. But it's certainly not every day that visitors lifts a 9-carat stone, as one person did earlier this month. Arkansas Kevin Kinnard visited Crater of Diamonds with some friends on Labor Day to search the volcanic fields for gemstones, which he has done regularly since he was a kid, according to a news release from the Arkansas State Parks. This time, the 33-year-old unearthed a shiny, dark stone about the size of a marble, which he thought might be glass. I almost have park staff check my finds because I didn't think I'd found anything, Kinnard said in the release. But when one of his friends went to have her own finds checked, he followed suit with the round stone in hand. The park's Diamond Discovery Center identified Kinnard's rock as a 9.07 carat brown diamond. I honestly teared up when they told me. I was in complete shock. The stone is the second largest diamond ever found in the park, which opened in... And then it cuts off. It cut 2 and is one of the only public... Well, that's weird. There's just this missing gap of text in the thing, which opened in... Let's leave it blank. We don't really know. Crater of Diamonds has registered over 240 diamonds this year, according to the news release, and sees an average of about 1 or 2 diamonds per day. Visitors often bring their own tools to search the 37-acre diamond field, but they aren't allowed to use battery or motor-powered tools. A find like this is always thrilling for park guests as well as the park staff who get to help identify the gem and share in the excitement. The previous record for the second largest diamond found at the state park since its 1972 opening, that's when it was a 8.82 carat white diamond found in 1981. In 2019, a Texas woman found a 3.72 carat yellow diamond at the park. The largest diamond ever found there was a 16 carat white diamond. Yeah, but I think that's kind of... Can you imagine the amount of people that are flooding this park right now? This is great publicity. Or did someone plant the diamond there, have somebody find it to get more people to come to the state park? Because I'm guessing there's some kind of fee. 2015, for example, an 8.52 carat diamond was found at the park and was valued at around $1 million after it was cut into a 4.63 carat triolet, and I don't know what that is. Let's look up triolet, shall we? Copy. Let's see, open in browser so we could go to a different... Okay, let's get rid of that there. Delete the porn site. Give clear history. Yes. Triolet. DuckDuckGo. Triolet diamond. Probably should put that in. Shaped diamond. Triolet. So it kind of looks like an egg. It looks like a sharp egg. But now it's being cut into a rare triolet shape. Interesting. I had no idea what that is. So it kind of looks like a teardrop. Not a teardrop, but I don't know how you would say that. Like a little stretched out pointy egg. That's what I would say. Now I know what triolet means. Lucky visitors who do find diamonds are typically asked to name the stones, and Kinnard named in honor of his friends who visited the park with him on Labor Day the Kinnard Friendship Diamond. In honor of his friends, he named it after himself. Not like he named, like, what's your name? Earl? This is the Earl diamond. Like, it's not, he named it after himself. Your name's Kinnard, and your friendship named after my friends. Just because you have the word friendship in there doesn't mean you named after your friends. I don't like this guy. I'm going to make judgments on it. I don't like this guy. We love to travel, and this is a quote, we love to travel together and had a great time out here, Kinnard said of the trip, and I'm going to keep all of the money. It was a very humbling experience. It was so humbling. Rebecca started showing me all of this attention out of nowhere. I couldn't believe it. When I got home, Samantha was right at my doorstep. You wouldn't believe the amount of attention. Everyone is so friendly. Glok, glok, glok. But then if you get with him, are you a gold digger? I don't think so. A diamond ditcher? I don't know any cool words that start with a D. Let's see here. Oh, random Xbox news. Let's go back to video games here. Oh, the one woman. I don't care about video games. If you have Xbox Games Pass Ultimate, those members will get EA Play on November 10th. Fun little fact. And I'm excited for that. Because EA Play has FIFA, and me and my girlfriend can play FIFA 20. For free. Well, not for free, but just with. Now, here's a fun little. I liked wrestling. I still like wrestling. I don't watch it, but loved wrestling growing up. And The Rock just endorsed Biden and Kamala Harris. He came out in an incredibly tight shirt. Apparently, they don't make shirts that they fit him, but they look so tight. They look so tight. And I mean, I wear tight shirts to work out in, but I don't wear tight shirts just like. It's crazy. Maybe those shirts don't exist. Maybe the shirts don't exist. Maybe all shirts are tight on this huge man. Says now that The Rock has endorsed Biden, children are allegedly burning his movies. And this is from the AV Club. I don't know which way they lean, considering the following tweets. Unfortunately, everyone I know is about to turn their backs on The Rock. We used to be huge fans. My children have already started burning his movies. Such a sad day to hear The Rock say this. My teens took this really hard, figured he was smarter than this. First of all, that's what somebody tweeted. If you care what athletes, he used to be a former football player, or a professional wrestler / movie star thinks about policies, they're not politicians. They're not. They just go with whoever they like the most. It doesn't mean anything. If you were still to hang out with these people, you would like them or dislike them based off of their personality. But just because someone supports Trump or supports Biden doesn't make them an idiot. I don't understand. You have to hear. Now, if his thoughts were, say, because you can support somebody and not agree with 100% of their policy. I lean more right on issues, generally. But Republicans are, they're not pro-choice, as far as I know. I think a woman should be able to have an abortion. But that's just my uneducated thought. I'm like, yeah, and I'm thinking about it as a population issue. If everyone is saying, oh, we're not going to have enough food to supply all these people and the whole society is going to collapse, well, then shouldn't you be pro-abortion? Every time you're stuck in traffic and you bitch about how many people are on the road, shouldn't you be pro-abortion? Just in my head now, you get the whole, it's a baby, it didn't ask to be born, all that stuff, which I use with my parents all the time, by the way. It's hilarious. It's so interesting to see their reaction. I was like, you have to take care of me for the rest of my life. I didn't choose to be born. You still have to take care of me whenever I take food off their plates. Hey, I didn't ask. I'm hungry. I didn't ask to be born. That was your selfish mistake. Okay? And they're like, well, you don't know how it is to me. Well, I'm 34 years old and don't have a kid yet. That's not an accident. You're right, Chase. It's not an accident. No woman would have sex with you. I highly disagree. Some women would have sex with me. And I'm trying to find all of them before I die. But it's just really interesting, this outrage that The Rock supported Biden and Harris. Who cares? He's a person who plays pretend for a living. Pretend. Every time you see him, it's workout. Now, if I wanted workout advice or how to gain 80 pounds of muscle, like, hey, Rock, what steroids do you take? That he can give an educated thought process on. He's like, I support Biden and Harris because most people in Hollywood, I wouldn't have a job if I supported Donald Trump. That's what would happen. because Hollywood leans more left. And that's fine. He's doing what he has to do to make money. And usually rich people, when they get money, are more Republican. Because they want less, they want to tax the rich less because they're usually rich. So the majority of rich people usually become Republican. So I just don't understand. Like, who cares? Is he funny in movies? Does he entertain you? Yeah. Then that's your only relationship you should have with him. If he came out and supported a murderer, then yes. Or if he's somehow The Rock, who's black and Samoan, came out to be, racist, or it'd be funny, a white supremacist, or something along those lines, a black white supremacist. But the fact that he supports a party that isn't, like the end of the world, and they polarize it to make it seem like everything's the end of the world, and it's not. It's not until it is. But people are acting like pandemics haven't been politicized. Everything's been politicized since the start of this country. It's not different. They've been trying to shut up the opposing people's viewpoints since the beginning of the printing press. They used to sabotage each other's printing presses and burn them and destroy them. The two different parties. So they couldn't make pamphlets and leaflets and get their message out. It's the same thing that the media is doing with the TV networks. It's the same thing. It's just a different version of it today. And just because we have more access to it, you hear about it now. It's insane that people are you're going to stop watching a movie because of something of an actor says. It doesn't matter. Now, if he did something terrible, illegal, then yes. But if he's not doing anything illegal, watch his movies and shut the hell up. The Rock's funny. Kevin Hart's funny. Kevin Hart's funny. Kevin Hart's funny. Yeah. Well, there's no doubt about it. Kevin Hart's funny. I think that's pretty much it for today. Guys, a little over an hour here. I was going to talk. There's an article as a coronavirus. Medical historians compare today's outbreaks to the 1918 flu. And then there's this interesting article, and I'm just going to give you the title of it. It's from Yahoo Sports. The NBA has found its great white hope, but it's 6 months too late. Whatever that means. They talk about Larry Bird, and I'm guessing they're going to talk about Luka Doncic. And how the NBA secretly wants a great white player because most of its fan base is white. But the fan base that's white has no issues with race, and they cheer for black players all the time. It's like they're more team oriented. But that's more football, I would say. Fans are more team oriented in football than they are in basketball. Basketball, they follow their favorite players around. They follow LeBron James around. They follow Kevin Durant around, or Kawhi Leonard. They're not really team oriented, I would say. Now, if you start out like I started out as a clean slate, and when I grew up, Michael Jordan was the man, so I gravitated towards Jordan, and then I became a Bulls fan. And when Jordan left, I'm still a Bulls fan. I feel when you find your first team and you find it, whether it is, and I grew up in California, but I was just so mesmerized by Jordan and the things he could do, watching all the videos, just like, oh my God, his shoes, Michael Jordan's playground VHS tape, his Michael Jordan Jordan Airtime, Come Fly With Me, all these cool little marketing videos. They got me. They sold me 100%. I thought this dude was like he was a basketball god. Lowercase G. So all you religious people, don't freak out. He's not a god. He's a basketball god among humans. And so you get on that hype train, but then I'm like, oh, okay, I want to be. Then I saw fans jump from team to team and player to player. I'm like, what are you doing? No, you stick with the team. But then are you a slave, quote unquote, to that team? So the organization could do anything, but you just don't support the team. If they're doing good, you buy. If they're doing well, if you like what they're doing, you support them. If they're a colossal, shit show like the Chicago Bulls are right now, they're getting a little bit better, but how they've been the past 3 or 4 years, getting rid of Jimmy Butler, the only person that actually tried and wanted to win. Oh, he's not a star player. He can't carry a team to the chip. Oh, wait, he's doing that right now. We just needed to get him some talent that actually cared and wanted to play. Oh, okay. And they drafted Jimmy Butler. They got him. They developed him. He worked hard. That's what I'm saying. Like, Anyways, I don't want to get too much into. But you stick with your team. My brother Leonard, huge Michael Jordan, but he's a player. He's a player's fan. He liked Michael Jordan, and then he liked Kobe Bryant because Kobe Bryant emulated Jordan. He was the closest thing to Jordan. And now he's a Lakers fan, and he hated LeBron, but now he's cheering for LeBron. He's flip-flopping all over the place. It's unbelievable. Can't stand it. And a basketball standpoint, I can't stand it. Now, when's the last time he probably watched a full game of basketball? He was probably in his teens. But anyways, my moral of this whole podcast is pick a team and stay with it. Don't flop around. If you were a Minnesota Timberwolves fan when you were born, or a Portland Trail Blazers fan, or a Phoenix Suns fan, you stick with those teams until you die. If it captured your imagination, stick with them. You don't have to pick the team that's near you. But if a team captures some kind of creative juices in you, some imagination, you stick with that team for the rest of your life. If they suck, don't buy their shirts, don't go to their games, don't support them, don't watch them on TV. Just kind of follow them on ESPN.com. See what they're doing. See what they're doing there, here or there. Find a player or two that you like on their team. Kind of support them. Social media, but don't go wild. Don't go too wild. Don't be a crazy Laker fan. Last year you got out of the finals and all of a sudden it's ride or die, and then you also think that if you win a championship this year, you're competing with the Boston Celtics. You'll have one more. It's like no. A bunch of your championships came when you were in a different city. So the Los Angeles Lakers haven't won 16 champions. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna look that up right now. This is what I'm gonna end on this. I'm gonna end shitting on the Lakers here. Los Angeles Lakers titles. Let's just say titles. History. This is what absolutely upsets me. Los Angeles Lakers in NBA Finals. Blah blah blah. Championships. Okay, Los Angeles Lakers Wikipedia. But are they going to say where they were? Because the Los Angeles Lakers, people are like, why are they called the Lakers? Because they were the Minneapolis Lakers. From 1947 to 1960. Okay, so they won, let's see, here, champions in 1960. So everything before 1960. So they won a championship. They have 16 championships right now. They won a championship in 49. 50, 52, 53, and 54. They won 5 of their championships, 5 of the 16, before going to LA. You can't keep those. You can't claim them. Minnesota can. Or Minneapolis, Minnesota, yeah. If there's another team that goes to Minneapolis, they can claim those titles. But you can't be the Los Angeles Lakers have won 11 championships. 72, 80, 82, 85, 87, 88, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2009, 2010. Those are the championships you count. Like the Seattle Supersonics won a championship, and then the Seattle Supersonics became the Oklahoma City Thunder. When you say, hey, OKC hasn't won a championship ever? No. They won one when they were the Seattle Supersonics. No. Oklahoma City hasn't won a championship. The Seattle Supersonics won a championship in 70-something. You don't get to backtrack. And then go, oh, look at all these 5 titles we all of a sudden have. No. Los Angeles Lakers, you have 11 championships. The Boston Celtics have 16. And I'm not a fan of either team. I'm bipartisan. bipartisan. You don't get to do that. One city, one team. You're there, you stay there. Now, if the Lakers win, 7 more, then they can say we won just as many as Boston. But the Los Angeles Lakers have not won as many championships as Boston. The Minneapolis Lakers. The Lakers, you can say Lakers. But the Los Angeles Lakers. So if you want to be a dick to Lakers fans, you can use that argument. And so this has been the Chase Carter Concept Podcast for Tuesday, September 29th. I appreciate the 4 or 5 family members who listen to this. Hopefully they don't get too upset at anything I said, like the last few. All right. That's it. You guys have a good one, and I will talk to you next week. Pretty sure next week with the question mark? All right. Take it easy.